So I just bought this lot of estate jewelry from an estate lady. Anyway, sorry, little tickle. Anyway, and it's like 5 or 8 pounds or something, and it's from a very nice area. And I got a good price on it. I'm opening this and I'm taping this in live, so on video, the full thing, so you know I didn't plant anything. There are a couple of things like potentially up to a dozen things that I noticed in this supposedly unsearched lot. We will see how this goes. And see what's in there. That's not going anywhere. We have a bag that we can put the stuff in that we do not want. And is my assistant joining me or not? She doesn't have to, she doesn't want to. So it looks like there's one bag here. And
hello, assistant
one back
and
here.
Cute doggy.
See if there's anything in the bottom. Okay, this is all just packing material, and that's fine. I have a presidium tester on me to test the gems and a loop. And everything that I keep is going to stay on the other table. So I'm going to unpack these one bag at a time. We'll untake this one.
How many bags did it come with?
It's two.
Two.
Two large shipping bags. Oh, watch, these are sharp on you.
And where did it ship from?
It shipped from the New York metropolitan area, is what I will say. But it's from a nice area. And, okay, see, so as we pull this out, we're going to carefully, okay, I already see some freshwater pearls. I can tell that because of the luster, and you can see that on camera. If not, we'll see it in a minute. There's already, and it looks like that might be silver. We'll find out in a minute. So this is not a bad lot. We want to be careful pulling this out because, in fact, what I'm going to do is take the scissors and make sure I'm not cutting any cords or anything. Just open the side of that bag up a little bit to relieve the pressure because these are really packed tight. With this thing, and we're going to see what's in here. Now, I usually don't buy estate type things because the families anymore are very careful to pull things out. So let's see, is this silver? Okay, it says Mexico. So this is, let me keep looking, this is probably alpaca, which is white copper. Let me get my loop and see if I see anything. I already see things that are going to instantly be costume and go into the disregard pile. I use a UV light and a regular light. Alright, this says, I believe this says it's silver, but I will try to verify that later. Now, I'm more of a collector. I'm not a big reseller or anything. I like unique things. I have a big box of stuff for guests, and if things get too carried away, you know, we can sell things that as I upgrade. And this is the wonderful, beautiful assistant here with the 20-year-old puppy. He's a very old man, and I have a younger Havanese who's only a few years old. This is cost, and you can tell that by the way that the metal is applied. Sometimes these elasticy things are real, and we have a bag down here. Put this in. We'll try to do this as quickly. Okay, this is costume. It's a little kitty. I'm not interested in her. There's an earring that might fall on the floor if I'm not careful.
So we're just separating the costume jewelry from anything that could
it's got to be
real.
It's got to be, for me to want to keep costume, it's got to be Titanic era, or it's got to be like older than that. Okay, this I believe is costume. Yeah, some of this is all the costume stuff I'm seeing. Most of it is actually fairly good quality. If somebody liked costume and stuff, I mean, they could do okay on a lot like this if they were to be selling costume jewelry. I don't mess with that kind of stuff because it's not my interest, and unless it's like really well made, like I said, some of the Art Deco stuff, the people that made it, like you try making that, but if it's like modern Avon or it's no.
It has to have some kind of cultural interest.
Yeah, it has multiple points of value. Yes, this is made in Hong Kong, so it's nice quality, but it's, that means it's vintage for sure if it says Hong Kong, because now Hong Kong is a district in China. This is a skull ring, but it's it looks like to me like there's like it's plated, and I can kind of tell by the way the metal is. This is going to be in the keep pile, and maybe this is an abalone shell, and these beads, these beads are little pieces of red coral. They're not glass. I can see a little bit of the natural structure in them without pulling on my loop, which is always nice to see. And notice the way the gloves. I'm wearing the gloves initially because I just don't know. This is high quality, but I'm going to guess that at best it's gold filled, and it's missing a piece. I'm seeing if it might be gold over silver, and I can't tell now. So I'm going to set this off to the side because it has a nice clasp and it's hollow, which is a good sign that it might be something. This bangle. You always check everything. You check the stems on the earrings. The metal marking is usually on there. This has weight to it, but the finish on it it's a plate finish, or of some kind. This is a little bracelet, and it won't come up. Open. Okay, there we go. Trying to get it to stay open because I'm seeing if there's anything scratched on the inside of the clasp. Look carefully, like on the rings close to it. Look at the center, or right in the center of it, to see if there's anything that might be scratched there. I have a good eye with that. This is not real. This is costume. Just getting things out that might not as obvious out of their costume. I mean, some costume is valuable, but it's a very touchy market, and not only that, the stuff that I collect. This is interesting. This was cast from a real piece. This bottom part, because you can see the indentation from where they would have marked it at one time. This is costume. It's a nice piece. I mean, someone that loves their costume could really do well on a piece on these kinds of plots. But I mean, I'm going to do okay. I can see already just from this first bag and what's going on here, and what I paid for it.
Now, I would guess some of those pearls are real and some not.
Well, I'm going to say, from what I could see when I started pulling them apart, that they're real. The issue might be is the type. These are freshwater, but this is a decent sized strand, and this had a clasp, but it doesn't anymore. I don't think, unless that's the clasp here. This was the clasp, and it came off, and it was a silver clasp. So they repaired this with a ring, with just the ring by connecting the ring to the other side, but the clasp is still on it because the other side had a ring on it. And these are real pearls. The luster and size, at least a lot of it, kind of looks costume, and I'm not costuming. They look kind of culture-ish to me, but these are real. Definitely real, because you see the types of imperfections that are on there. You see like the lines that go through it. You see how none of them are exactly the same size. And if you feel them, and if I were to feel these, you feel these, and you can kind of tell without going through your teeth when you feel a lot of pearls. Sometimes you can even figure out the type of pearls that these are. So this is, I think we're very close to already being in the positive. Just a few more things. That I can easily fix, because clasps are really easy to do. I even have spare clasps lying around of all vintages. This is costume, but what are these beads in here? Okay, that's just totally costume. that's my thoughts is that a lot of the people that had this stuff were probably running around in the 50s or 60s. There's something written on this class, but it's written right by where the ring connects on the top, and that happens. And sometimes it's even on the side of the rings, or of the clasp, or it's even on one of the little rings. Let's see. I think I'm gonna guess it's gold fill, but you never know. Yeah, 120,585. So this was, because it doesn't say 14 karat or something, and the gold fill is marked that way. This is probably an imported piece. And I don't see any damage to the gold fill. There's just some dirt on it. And not to sell this, but this might be like a nice in-between costume piece to wear, because it's in really good shape, and it's probably good quality. You can figure it out because it's an international, almost certainly an international piece. This you should never do. I'm going to test these because the way this is done is very much like jade. So I'm going to put this on the presidium tester, which I have down here ready. We're going to see without looking in the loop. Let's see. Do this again. They could be glass, but they don't look like it. They don't feel like it. So they test in the range of garnet, tourmaline, and illolite. My guess is that these are, if you looked at them carefully, they would end up being some kind of agate. But it's attractive, and it's done like what you would see like in different parts of Asia with jade. This bracelet is well made, but it has a rhinestone on it, and the style of coating of the metal is not, so it's not real metal. Because sometimes with Art Deco pieces and even transitional pieces, you'll see completely fake stones, and you see this also. You'll see real stones in fake jewelry sometimes, so it's important to look at it. And there's reasons for that, as I've discussed in another video. This. Let me feel this. These are thin, and they're hollow, tiny, tiny tubes, which makes me suspicious that this could be gold. Because each of these links, they're hollow, and people typically spend the machining to hollow out things that are real. So I'm going to look at that later to figure out if I think that is real or not. Now, when I see a piece like this is probably just 1928 or something, but I'm going to carefully pull this apart. Oh, it's stuck to this. Okay, this is fake party crap, and it's going to go straight in that bag. I mean, it's just like saying, oh, you know, I hope I'm not insulting anyone, but when you wear something that has the plastic rhinestones and that chain on it, this is either a piece of party jewelry. You need to make sure there's a bracelet that actually goes with it, that's real. You know, or you're cheap. And not cheap like, you know, everyone loves a deal, but cheap like this is garbage. Kind of thing. But this is what I was pulling up this second. And there's a necklace that I'll show next. I'm going to look at it because it looks like it could be gold. This is either like 1928 costume jewelry, like the brand, something like that, or because the metal is aged very, very skillfully, or this is something old. You know, the construction of this is questionable, but I'm going to go back. Yeah, these are cast, these glass beads, and that kind of glass, I don't know. I don't see a signature anywhere on this. So I'm going to set that one aside for later, and we'll look at it. here's this stuff kind of fell down. Okay, this is a costume ring with that costume necklace that kind of went with the bracelet. So there's a set there. And I'm going to put those in the bag. Now this was the thing that I was kind of looking at. And I'm going to see if I can first, before I pull out my loop, see if I see anything that pops out marking wise. Because this, it has a good clasp and it didn't tarnish, which makes you wonder. So this is either going to be gold fill, whether it's marked or not, or something real. The soldering doesn't look that bad, because that's another thing. You look at the kind of soldering you're seeing on the piece. It kind of has the. Okay, I see nothing there. Let's look on the nub. Thing on the nub. You also look at the little kicker on it. A lot of times we'll put it there too. I try not to squint. That's a bad habit, and you don't need it to do it. That's how you're supposed to use your loop. I am not sure. So this is going to be set off to the side, but you can kind of see with the type of clasp, and this has the right weight to it as well. This, I'm going to have to look more carefully at that. That by alone would cover the cost of this. Okay, let me wipe this off really good. This is hard for me to tell. This is a ring that must have come off with something because it doesn't unclasp. That's a pearl. And I'm going to bet that ring is gold. You should never do that. I made sure I wiped it really good off my arm and stuff. You should like clean it. And you should really never test the pearls that way. But the luster on that one, it seemed to be too good. And it's very round. And the metal isn't tarnished, which means it could be it could be good gold and a good pearl. Alright, we got some costume stuff here. Yeah, it's not gold and it's not going to be silver. And there's this medallion, which is not real. So we can get rid of that, so we can clear up room. Okay. Alright, this is completely costume. And it's kind of imitation Art Deco. I'm trying to find a tag on it. But I think that heart is a trademark, that heart clasp for a brand, if I remember correctly. Okay, now this could be nice. I gotta carefully put this out. See if this is intact. This is a large piece.
You're going to shell it? Plastic?
Yes, these are abalone. You can tell by the way they're hitting. You can tell they're shell. I do think they might have been treated, but they are abalone somehow. This is not real silver, and at one time they made a lot of costume jewelry out of it. And this is a large piece. I don't think there's a clasp in between there. I think that's how this was made. So we'll set this over here. Wait, a little bit of room, so we have much more room. Oh, did you pick that up a second? Sorry, thank you. I think this is likely fake, but wait a spring. And the machining on this is interesting. So I'm going to set this aside. Now this is kind of cool. It does not open. If it opened, it would be cool, although you would probably lose a piece of it. This I think I'll keep because it's cool. This is the small part of a treshka or a Russian dolly on a one of those boxes on a keychain. And interestingly enough, my dad's birth mother was put in a pot to escape. That's not real, but it looked interesting. Okay, these are sterling silver earrings. Let me make sure it's actually the pair. Yeah, I can see it on the stem and on the clasp. I don't get why people do that with and the fact that it says sterling even on here, not that, but that's plastic, so it's not that old. That's just something that they typically didn't do after the 70s. So wait, let those go over here actually. So yeah, I think we're doing okay so far. This is costed and it's worn through, so we'll put that down there. Let me see. It feels plastic. I will wipe it off with my gloves so it won't dirty with the city. And we'll see if it conducts. It's not conducting, so this is plastic. And I kind of figured that because this is not real metal. It is the way that they did the plastic in there, it's a resin that's harder. It's kind of interesting. This I'm sure is, but the clasp is right. You can kind of see what's going on here. It has a nice clasp to it. The weight is right, but this just looks too. It doesn't look gold. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's very well polished for a piece. I'm going to set this off the side and look at it. And it's got some. It's definitely a few ounces in weight, or more than an ounce, I would say. This is just glass. What do you think about any of this stuff, sweetheart?
I think it's really cool. I love the Russian doll.
Yeah.
The pearls I could tell some of them, I didn't realize at first that they were three strands connected together.
Yeah.
It seems like one of these strands, the pearls are just they're so close.
Yeah.
In size and in shape, and they're almost too perfect, but they're real.
Yeah, so they're cultured, and there are techniques that allow you to get very good-looking pearls that way. That you've seen some of the larger ones that are natural. That's very rare to happen in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So this could be alpaca. It's from Mexico, or it could be silver, but it has a nice pattern around it, and it has the stamping inside. I'm gonna put this in the sheet for now, but that stuff, even that stuff, I'm still gonna look over more later. This is caustic, so that goes down here. Oh, I think I just found a garnet or a ruby, one or the other. The real stone. Okay, it's stuck in here. Let me see if I can thread the needle. There's a piece right here, and this chain is, I think it's a chain bracelet with actually a decent sized stone on it, and I can tell by the way it's hitting, the light is hitting the surface, that this is definitely not going to be glass. You'll see. Let me see if this has a pavilion on it. If it has a pavilion on it and it's ruby, it's going to be. I've never seen one. This has a small pavilion on it. And it has more of the kind of pavilion that you see a lot with spinel because of the shape of the crystal, but that's not conclusive. Because sometimes it's really so what are we testing as? Yes, this is a spinel. And let me get my loop out. It's right over here. And in real time, and let me see if I can see markings on the clasp. This definitely looks like it's silver. I think if I investigated, even if it's not marked, this would end up being silver. Because even if it's a lab spinel, it could be in a lot of places. But let me first see if this is going to fluoresce on me. Let's see. Oh crap! Is it glowing?
Yeah.
Is it glowing like
yeah.
Just a little bit, but not like a ruby? So that could be a spinel, because spinels sometimes will fluoresce, but they don't fluoresce the same way you would see it in a Burma ruby or something. looking for signs of natural creation. Yeah, I can definitely see that this is cut, which is something, because you look, it's the way that the facets will have that slight look. I think I see some natural stuff inside of this piece. So this is definitely a keeper, and it's a good find. And it looks to be a little slightly older. You know, that's probably a 1960s ish piece. And I dropped something down there, and I may never find it. I hope I find it. That could be the Holy Grail. You see anything down there around my foot?
Not at the moment.
I feel something. Oh yeah, it's the basket to that piece that I was going to look at later. So, this I'm almost sure is costume. There's nothing about this looks right. Yeah, this is fake. Because you can kind of tell by some of the chains, the way they look, that it's going to end up being fake. You know, just the way that they're coded. Yeah, that's fake. You can. The way metal hits sometimes is a good indicator. You look under the clasp, sometimes it's inside there. The feel of it, this is very nice costume, but it is costume. You know, something like this, it could be hollow, because when it has that light, and it has a little bit of give, and then it could be, because they can make very hollowed out pieces, and make the gold look very big, but it's very light, because it's just hollow inside. But it's not very sturdy when you do that. I'm gonna say this is fake because the way the metal looks, feel it. I mean, that weight doesn't matter, but if it's hollow,
The feel.
it doesn't feel like gold.